So here we are back with the tree doctor on Arborist Avenue. We're looking at the nightstand this time. We showed you the bookshelf before. This one is Vic Merullo. He's a practicing attorney and a certified arborist. At least he was. He's got a checklist here. This book is over 100 pages. It's got a breakdown of state statutes and just some amazing legal work references. So here's one some of you haven't seen. This is Jerome Hutin. He's a French guy. He came out and interviewed me. We went and looked at the treehouse resort down in Oregon. We went and looked at a redwood tree. And anyway, this is the 100th oldest trees in the world in peril. Jerome Hutin. It's in French. You might have trouble with that. Text, I wish I knew what it said. So here's number 3 on our list, Practical Tree Surgery by Millard F. Blair, and this was from 1937. Very thorough for its day. And the guy that I got this book from had died, but he'd underlined a lot of stuff. And I did learn a lot from his son, Don Blair. All right, so here's Edlin and Nimmo. Herbert Edlin was a big-time educator in arboriculture way back when. This is tree injuries, their causes and prevention. It's loaded with photos. Pretty darn good photos for, what was this, the 30s? 56. Really comprehensive. And then Lynda Mapes, Witness Tree. This is her, I guess you'd kind of call it a sabbatical. She went to the Harvard forest and she hung out and visited this oak tree every day and monitored the condition of the tree as the leaves came and went into seed and the acorns dropped. So Lynda's an environment reporter from the Seattle Times newspaper. She does very thorough, like 4 or 5 page, full page newspaper stories on environmental issues like forestry, dam busting, and others. So Richard Preston wrote The Wild Trees. Richard is a best-selling author. He's written 3 books about plagues, and one of them was made into a movie called Outbreak with Dustin Hoffman way back in the 90s. And Richard interviewed Steve Sillett for this book, went climbing in the redwoods, kind of talked himself into a spot on the climbing team without having the credentials to safely climb. But he was more of an observer and a scribe. So this book has, what was that? This book descriptions of what it's like in the old growth. So guide for plant appraisal. This was the 2000 edition, and the ISA put this out. It's compiled by the Council of Tree and Landscape Appraisers. This 9th edition was good for about 10 years, and it is the basis for court cases when somebody is making a claim about the damage to the tree and the dollar value. So then there's tons. This is like extremely technical. Lawyers have gotten a hold of the tree care industry, and this was a point in time when it was still understandable, kind of. Now it's totally perplexing to me. And so here's one. Hui-Lin. This is very old, and this has a fantastic picture of a dawn redwood tree in a farm right there, in a farm in China. And that tree has been cultured. It has been lopped. So there you go. This is from the perspective of a scientist. Okay, Robert Miller, produced the textbook. This is the college textbook of managing urban green spaces. So that's pretty darn important. It's what our workforce is using as their basis. Nalini Nadkarni is another researcher. She wrote Between Earth and Sky. She analyzed all the world cultures that revere trees. Nalini was very inspiring for me. She got me my first job. She didn't know it by serving as a kind of in between by managing the listserv, the later net listserv, which was a internet list server of Canopy researchers. So then I went and did the marble murrelet collection. Forest canopies. Okay, Meg Lowman, another researcher in the scientific community, and she went down to the rainforest also. She was in on the canopy raft that Hallie put together and a bunch of other big projects. Then comes Shigo. So Alex Shigo, a New Tree Biology Dictionary. This was the companion volume to his A New Tree Biology, which was the groundbreaking revelation of compilation of his research back in 1986 after he retired from the Forest Service in 85, went on the lecture circuit, and he started teaching around the world by touching trees, by going into the terms, the definitions that he was using to translate the scientific protocols into common language, able to be understood by arborists. And he invented the shigometer, which was a electronic device to measure the conductivity of the wood and assess its condition by drilling a little hole in the bark and inserting an electronic probe. Shigo was the chief scientist for the U.S. Forest Service, and he associated with people around the world. And Niels Voss was one of the guys from Denmark. He came up with this photo guide because he realized that the words and diagrams just don't cut it. But he did dissect over 15,000 trees with a chainsaw to find out what they look like inside. Now here's one which is part of the curriculum down in Germany in the developments in agricultural managed forest ecology. A. Bernatsky, and he wrote Tree Ecology and Preservation to describe the link between trees, how trees associate with each other. And he's got how man is in the mix and how we exercise our will on trees by doing our work. So you might be familiar with his artwork. And then the last one is Jim Urban, Up by Roots. And Jim is a landscape architect who specializes in improving building permit applications. He works with architects to modify their construction projects to allow healthy soil to continue to exist alongside large buildings. And this is just one fantastic book because it allows us to understand the science of soil management. What is soil? How does it supply the nutrients and the stability to the trees in our workspace? So there you go. This is Ox signing off. Glad you had a chance. We got less than 10 minutes, and we've got 15 books in a extremely comprehensive bibliography. We'll catch you later on treedoctor.com, Instagram, Tree Doctor, and a couple others like YouTube, etc.